What music they make. Metal. Global.
Sejam bem-vindos a mais um podcast de Metal Global. Hoje a conversa é com Alessandro Del Vecchio dos Hardline, que vai contar tudo sobre a novidade Shout. Antes de irmos à entrevista com Alessandro Del Vecchio, não quero mais lembrar que tem a versão rádio, a versão com música, em exclusivo na RTP Play, a passar por lá e procurar por Metal Global. Para além das músicas da Hardline, há também temas novos para os Lex Legion e para os franceses Harsh. Agora vamos falar da novidade Hardline. O álbum Shout chega às lojas no próximo dia 17 de Abril pela Steamhammer. Para além de 9 novas canções compostas por Johnny Gioeli, Alessandro Del Vecchio e Luca Princiotta, há também a versão da clássica When You Came Into My Life dos Scorpions, que é sem dúvida uma das maiores surpresas neste novo álbum dos Hardline. Mas para contar tudo, a conversa é com o teclista Alessandro Del Vecchio. How are you?
I'm very well. Very excited about the record and everything, so very well.
When did you guys start working on Shout?
Well, we started, I had some ideas back in, by the end of 2024, but we started actually, getting seriously into the writing in June 2025, and we worked on the record for a good 6 months because we delivered the master to Steamhammer around beginning of January. So a good 6 months of going back and forth on ideas and recording and refining everything that we had. We wrote, I think it was around 20 songs. And then we wanted to do the cover of the Scorpion song, and we wanted to have a 10-song album, and so we stripped down 11 of the songs that we wrote that maybe will never see the light of day, and we finished with the 9 original songs that you have on the record.
Isn't it kind of sad to leave some songs in the bin, so to say?
Well, it is somehow also because you work on them and you hope that they make it to the final stage. Sorry, but in the end, you want just the best for the record, and sometimes in my life I didn't want to let songs go into the bin, and they somehow found a way on other records for other people, but I've never felt very strong about it. Maybe they're good songs, but if they didn't make it to a record, it's because they didn't fit, they didn't work, and I wanted to, I want the record to be as strong as possible, honestly.
Yeah, and the album is. I was just listening to the record, and it kind of flowed so quickly that it was starting again, and I was like, "What's happening?" Already.
That's good. That's a good feeling. It means that the record is flowing the right way, and hopefully we made the right choices on choosing the songs at the end.
Well, I haven't heard the other ones that were not in the album, so
maybe we'll do a deluxe version with the songs that are not there yet.
And do you remember which was the first song that actually got completely done for this record?
So the first song was Welcome to the Thunder, the one that was finished from top to bottom, and I wrote it as an opener for the record because of the intro with the guitar. I wanted to showcase Luca's abilities as a guitar player, and that was the first song, and then it was Glow, and then it was Shout and Rise Up, I think, in that order. And but musically, the first song, I think it was Mother Love, or Mother Love or Shout. Probably Shout and Mother Love were written in the same period of time. But the first finished one was Welcome to the Thunder.
Was there any song that's on the album that was more difficult or took more time to complete?
Sorry again. It's coughing season. Well, I think the song that was that required more work was When You Came Into My Life, because obviously it's a cover, and when I arranged that cover, and I spoke with Johnny, I wanted to make a deeper version of the song, because the original is a ballad, and I wanted to give our Hardline spin to it, and it took a little bit of more time and care. Let's say that.
Yeah, and you really don't want to offend the original band.
Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they don't, and hopefully they like it.
Yeah, because I was listening to and before I read the biography and the information about the record, I listened to it because I don't like to have preconceived notions of the songs or anything like that. And I didn't know, because I don't know, honestly, the original Scorpions version, and I didn't know it was a cover. And it just fitted so well with the Hardline, what we are used to listen to, that I was just said like, oh, this is a great ballad. And you have Glow as well as another, ballad. But this one, I was like, oh, this is a great song. And then I was reading it thinking, oh, this is a Scorpions cover. I mean, I couldn't tell it was because our aim was to make a cover that didn't sound like a cover, to make it very unique in a sort of way, like Hot Cherie was a cover, and if you listen to the original and what happened in the production of that song, it really some people don't even know that it's a cover, that was originally recorded by other two bands. And that's what, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense to make a replica of a song that's already there. Yeah. And I don't want to get in competition with the Scorpions, so I'd rather change the arrangement, go somewhere else, make it more interesting, so that it becomes one of our songs. Yeah, I think that's the feeling that I got. For me, it was, this is a Hardline song. I mean, it's so Hardline that if you didn't know, if you didn't read it, you would say, this is a great Hardline song. So
yeah.
You did a great job with it, again.
Thank you very much. I mean, in a sort of, we hope that people just take it as a song that's on a record, and it doesn't, it's not the obvious Scorpions cover that you would expect, because for ballads they have Still Loving You, and one of the best ballads ever. But it was Johnny's idea to do the cover, and when I heard the song again after many years, because I heard the song and I loved it when it came out, and I was like, oh man, now we have to go somewhere. And it took a little bit of time, and then one day I was at the piano and I was like, what if I change the piano riff, the guitar arpeggio that's on the original, and I make it go somewhere else? And then I came up with the that sort of looping piano arpeggio, and then I had this idea. The chorus was what I wanted. Heavy and stuff like that. And then the verse was the trickier one, because I arranged the drum part that, the drummers, I know that the Marco would have hated me, because in the studio we had to really, it's very easy for a drummer to overplay when you have so many notes, but it really needed to be, tangled all together, very tight. And it's one of my proudest moments on the record, because it really, I have the same, obviously, I'm talking about my own work, but my aim was to make it a Hardline song. And at the end, when you play the record from top to bottom, if you don't know the original song, you think it's a Hardline song, because it's fitting into our sound and our way of doing songs.
Yeah, and hopefully, like Hot Cherry, as you were mentioning, it might become one of those live songs that people will go to the shows, listen to it, and think it's an Hardline song, and it's all good.
Record, yeah. I mean, but that's. I mean, obviously, we love the song, and Johnny loves the Scorpions, and you can hear it in the way he sings. But when you do a cover, you want to create a bridge into an audience that maybe wouldn't get into Hardline, and I mean the Scorpions audience, and maybe they like it and they become our fans. But also, it's a way of showcasing what the band can do. It's like, when I remember when Guano Apes. They recorded the cover of Big in Japan. Yeah. I mean, most of my friends didn't even know that it was a cover. I was like, no, that's a cover. I mean, because it sounded so much like the Guano Apes that nobody could even tell. And, and if you do a cover like that, then, it becomes your song. It's like Help for John Farnham. I mean, if you strip down a song from the original clothes, you keep the melody and the harmony, and you make it completely different, then it becomes your song, your take on the song, and it's not just a cover.
Yeah. I remember Nevermore, they used to do covers, and it was so different from the original that you couldn't tell it was, what was it? And I remember they did like one of Judas Priest's songs, and it was just so amazingly done, so different from the original that it was an Evermore song.
Yeah, I mean, but I've been playing for 14 years with Jorn, and Jorn loves to do covers, but it's the same principle. You start making a cover of a song, you have to make it different. Because nobody wants to hear, I mean, the same version just played and by other people and recorded by another singer. I mean, you want to hear what would that song be if we wrote it, and that was the main point of making a cover. And I've always loved bands that go, into unexplored territories while making covers, like Nevermore and many other bands, because it becomes a new song. I mean, if you never exposed people to the original version, you will never know. I mean, because they sound exactly like the band.
Yeah. And, with Hardline, you have, that classic record, Double Eclipse, that is like a staple for hard rock. What is normally like your approach? I mean, no one can ever make a Double Eclipse Part 2. I mean, I think it's impossible to replicate anything that was done with that record, but you can use it as inspiration to further the legacy of the band. Is that what you guys try to do when, because I'm sure when everybody goes talk about Hardline, the first thing that comes to mind is Double Eclipse.
I mean, you're talking to the biggest Hardline and Double Eclipse fan ever, because that record, when I heard it the first time, it was the first record that made me tilt my head and go like, this sounds different. This sounds like what I want to do. And that was 92. And when it came out, I was like, oh, I've never heard anything like that. I mean, I was 13 at that time, and I'd never heard anything like that, and I couldn't believe my ears. But also, I mean, that record came out 30 years ago, 34 years ago. I mean, Johnny is not the same Johnny as 34 years ago. It's like asking Robert Plant to redo Led Zeppelin 4 and Led Zeppelin 3 again. It will never happen, because you change, and the personnel that wrote those songs is not together in the same room anymore. Joey is not in the band anymore. Neil is not in the band anymore. And Dean is not there playing drums. And to me, with all respect to all the great drummers that Hardline ever had, because we've had Bobby Rock, and Francesco Jovino and Marco Di Savio, but Dean is Dean.
Yeah.
Dean is like having Steve Vai. I mean, you cannot match that. And so I revere that record. And that record was the record that made me love and fall in love with the hard rock production. So if I'm a producer today, it's because of Double Eclipse. And still today, it's my gold standard. And obviously, it's an inspiration. But also, I mean, it's part of our legacy, and people will always refer to that. But we will never make Double Eclipse 2. I mean, we also had a proposal years ago, crazy and stupid, to re-record Double Eclipse. And Johnny and I, we said, I mean, you know, we can do it for the dollars, but how can we match that? I mean, how can we match the magic of teenagers with Neil Sean at the helm, you know, in '92 and match it in 2016? And I mean, obviously anybody can do it, but you will never capture the atmosphere. Maybe you can replicate the songs, but I'm 47 years old. I will never be in the same headspace and the same motivation of two kids coming from from the East Coast into LA and having the world in their hands. You know, it will never be the same. So why? But obviously it's a milestone in hard rock, and it's a reference, and it's part of our legacy. And you know, in one way or another, we played the whole record in our shows, you know, and sometimes it's maybe 8 songs on our set list are from Double Eclipse, because you cannot. I mean, those songs are. I mean, there's and it's just. And it wasn't just the band. I mean, they had the best of the best. They had Mike Slamer writing songs. They had Eddie Money writing songs, Jonathan Cain, Neil Sean, and you know, it's impossible to match. But obviously, it's, you know, every time we start writing a new record, we question ourselves. We go like, oh, should we go a little more Double Eclipse or just write whatever we want to write? And the true story is that the songs, I mean, if you think about, there's Hot Cherie, but the second, I don't want to say biggest Hardline song, but after Hot Cherie and maybe Taking Me Down, it's Fever Dreams. Yeah. Fever Dreams is a song that doesn't sound at all like the original Hardline. It's just Johnny's voice, but it's a song about, I mean, that starts with piano. It's so different, but still it translated to the Hardline audience. Yeah. And it's got millions of streams, and it's a song that we cannot play live. I mean, we have to play live, because if we don't, people are like, oh, Fever Dreams. But it's a song that's based on a different tonality and sound and music landscape than Double Eclipse. I think if a song is great, a song is great, and you have to just also you have to be honest with yourself. And I mean, Johnny doesn't write like that anymore, and he doesn't want to write like that anymore. He doesn't want to write, he was in his early 20s, and he wanted to conquer the world. He's a different person. He's a man now. He's a grown man, and it's different.
Yeah, and with an album comes a tour. You guys are going to tour April and May, Europe. No Portugal, no Spain this time around. After this first part of the tour, are you guys planning more shows? Come to Portugal again?
Yeah, we already announced the whole tour for 2026, and there's no Spain and Portugal, and there's a reason why, because we've played Portugal and Spain a lot in between Heart, Mind and Soul, our previous record, and last year. So for sure in 2027 we will be back in Portugal and Spain, and we have the UK still is out of the tour, but we will play 2027. And we as an enterprise, as a company, we decided to be on the road only a certain amount of time, and just play as many shows as possible. Obviously, in the past, we were playing a lot of weekend shows, which helps. Playing, a weekend now and a weekend in a month, and you can play anywhere. But also logistically, now it's impossible with the cost of traveling and touring. It's impossible to play like that. I mean, it would kill the band. So we decided, okay, we cannot play anywhere because we don't have the logistics and the time to do that. We will do 3 weeks in April and May and 3 weeks in November, and we will play where we can play. Then, I mean, we know that the UK, that a lot of people are asking for Spain and Portugal. Portugal is our little, it's a fortress for us, because when we come and we play at Estoril, we play for 2,000 people. So it's one of our biggest countries, but we will be back. We played, I think, 4 times in the last 6-7 years.
Yeah.
And we had to make a decision, and we're traveling with a bus, and Portugal, unfortunately, is on the other end of Europe. So, I mean, the most logical solution would be to do Spain and Portugal, and then fly to the UK when we're doing the 3rd leg of the tour. And we promise we will be back.
That's good news. And you mentioned Jorn. I think you guys were in the studio finishing a record. What can you say about that, if you can say anything?
Well, I will let Jorn announce anything, but yeah, we've been working for quite some time now on Heavy Rock Radio 3, which was planned years ago, and we put the final touches to that. And then there's gonna be 2 releases in the very near future for Jorn, and but we're with Jorn, we always write, we always work. I don't know how many songs we've already done that they're there in the studio, and then one morning I wake up and I get an email from Jorn saying like, okay, I'll come to Italy and we'll work on this. So that it's a step ahead. But I mean, for Jorn, it's been a great year because we played a lot, but also he, like Hardline, we changed label, and for Jorn it's been a big shift, because we signed with Virgin and Universal for the distribution, and with Jorn's catalog, just a transition from whatever past labels those records were on to a newer label and newer distribution was a lot of work. So we wanted to get the catalog on, for the fans out there, and flesh that out, take it out of the system, finish Heavy Rock Radio 3, and then start working on some other things.
Cool. And, you're always busy, Hardline, Jorn, you work with other people as well. Is there any more music projects that you're working on that will see the light of day anytime soon?
Well, release-wise, I'm always, playing sessions and recording and mixing. So there's always lots of stuff coming out with, that's been done in the studio with me. But regarding my bands, there's going to be another acoustic record by Vanden Plus coming out very soon. And we're very proud of it, and I cannot wait for that to be out, because I loved the original Occult record that came out 30 years ago, whatever, and maybe 25. But we did a second Occult, which is, I'm very proud of it. We really pushed the boundaries of what you can do acoustically to your own songs, especially in prog, and so that is the first thing that will come out after Hardline, and then we're starting to work with Edge of Forever on a new record, and the plan is to finish the record by the end of the year, and if I'm able to to write the songs that I want to write, because I have lots of ideas, but I really want to make a special record. Again, we changed labels. So I want it to be like Hardline. We took the time to do a record that people can go like, okay, so it's about the band and it's not about the label. It's not about whatever direction that you get from whoever is in charge of selling your music. But, we really wanted to take the time to do it right. And same thing for Edge of Forever. I want to do our best record. And I have ideas and I have a plan. So I need time. And I'm also working on my first solo record, which is going to be instrumental. It's got Simon Phillips on drums. And it's a new territory for me, but I wanna set aside field for me making instrumental prog records with not many guitars, with a lot of keyboards. It's basically, this record is basically a trio, and there's 2 guests on guitar. And but it's just the solos, and the rest is a little bit like Niacin, but more proggy. And Simon killed on the record. The best of the best. And I challenged the guy. I was like, okay, Simon, I wrote the record for you, not for me, because I wanted to hear your drum parts on my songs. But it's a disaster metrically. It's all odd tempos. And I was like, yeah, no problem. And then the first song, he had the solo over a 15/16 part. And I was like, no, did I really do this to Simon Phillips? And I said, that section is a drum solo. And he was like, okay, no problem. Tell me what you think. And like 1 hour later, he sent me this solo, and I was like, what? What a drummer. But that is coming out beginning of next year. Cool. And I'm very excited about that as well. But that's for my own projects, and it's already a lot. But I'm in the studio every day, so I'm always recording. And I worked on a record with Billy Sheehan and Ray Lucier, with an Ukrainian artist. And we're very proud of that because it's with Ray Lucier and Billy Sheehan, it sounds to the max. And when I heard the final mix, I was like, yes, I'm singing with freaking Billy Sheehan and Ray Lucier. I'm doing a lot of sessions, so there's always music out, where I'm involved.
Cool. And then, working with Simon Phillips, freaking hell, man, it doesn't get much better than that.
Honestly, only in the last 5 years, I worked with Simon Phillips, Vinny Colaiuta, and I almost made a record with Terry Bozzio. I really wanted to do a record with Terry Bozzio. And, it's mind-blowing how good. I love modern drummers, but what these old dogs can do. Yeah. These guys with that kind of mileage still wanting to prove what pushing the boundaries of your musicality means. And it's an inspiration for me, because when I revere these musicians, but also I know that some of them may get lazy with time. But man, when you work with these guys, it's like I always say that after you play with Simon Phillips, there's nothing. He destroys everybody else because it's so unique and incredible. But I'm the luckiest guy because I've been working with the best of the best. Ian Pace and Dean Castronovo. Everybody, Simon Phillips, Vinny Colaiuta. And if you name the best drummers and some of the best musicians, I've worked with all of them. So my standard is always like, okay, so now we got to record the drums, and we should maybe, get inspiration from the great cats that I worked with. And I always hope that my experience is also bringing more musicality to the people who work with me, who don't have the chance to work with Simon Phillips, and maybe I can learn by working with them, so that I can transfer that even to smaller bands, but that have the talent to reach the level.
Yeah, and just to finish up, you mentioned Vanden Plus. You guys should come to Portugal. I think they have only been once here, and you need to come back. You need to play here. I love Vanden Plas since the first records. And, you know, I forgot that you were in the band.
Yeah.
I forgot. But I was like, Vanden Plas, it's, yeah.
Vanden Plas.
It's
what a band.
Amazing band. And I don't know how they didn't get any bigger.
You know, honestly, you know, I'm the luckiest guy because I play in bands that are incredible, and I couldn't be more grateful. But it's, you know, it's the question with Vanden Plas, but it's also with Hardline and also with Jorn. I'm always like, how is it possible that they didn't get, you know, to the Dream Theater level? Yeah. You know, Vanden Plas really, you know, I think it's I always tell them, because they are, I don't know, I think that they're two good people. You know, when, you know, in this business, sometimes to really make it to a level, you have to be, you know, Bruce Springsteen, I think, said something, and I don't want to quote him, but I think it was Bruce Springsteen in an interview. He said, well, you know, to become, you know, the top of the business, you got to be an asshole. And, you know, somehow you have to be like a military. You don't have to, sometimes you don't have to have, you know, those family feelings. You have to be very cynical and get straight to the point. And you need people around you that really believe in you and push you and invest in you. And Vanden Plas, to be honest, they were misunderstood, because a band with such talent, I mean, the band that could tour and compete with Angra and Dream Theater and all these bands at that time, coming out of nowhere, writing those songs and making those records. Yeah. And the quality that they kept for, you know, 30 plus years, it's incredible. I mean, when they called me to join the band, I was like, I mean, that's a step ahead, because what a band. And I mean, last year we played 40 plus shows, and so incredible. I so love this band, and I couldn't be more proud.
Yeah, hopefully you guys can come to Portugal soon anyway. And with Hardline, hopefully see you in 2027 then. Yeah,
I mean, with Vanden Plas, we will start to work on a new record later this year. And the plan, but it all depends on many factors, the plan is to come out in 2027 and tour again. And hopefully we can come in Portugal. That would be, you know, come to Portugal. That would be the best.
Yeah. Would be awesome. Look forward to that. Alessandro, thank you very much for your time. All the best for Shout from Hardline. Amazing records. You know, it's good from start to finish. There is no, you know, as they say, like a filler. It's all killer on this record.
Oh, thank you very much, man. I mean, it's a record that we really, you know, I know that, you know, many people. You know, that I know that also in interviews, you know, you don't want to talk about my past or whatever issues that I've had or we've had as a band with whatever, but we really wanted to prove something with this record. New label, new lineup, and new energy, new management, because we're so happy with everything that Seaside Entertainment is doing with our tours. I mean, we never had such tours. We never had 35-6 shows in a year in a tour organized like that. So we really wanted to come out with a product that's strong and true to the Hardline brand, but also a record with great songs that we could play live no matter what's the single, and just play whatever song we want from the record. And I'm very happy and very grateful to hear that you felt that. So hopefully what you felt is what the world will feel, and you know we will put the band on a greater path, and make it better than whatever we've done in the life of this band. And maybe it's a new trajectory, and you never know.
Yeah, it's for me, and I'll say this again, I think it's an album you can play from start to finish, and then you can do the encore with Hot Cherry and all those classic songs, and I think everybody would be happy about it, because I think the record is this good.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It really means a lot. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Alessandro, have a great day. Hope to see you guys soon then. And, keep making great music. I'm here for it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And hopefully we'll speak very soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oi, ciao.
Bye. Bye.
Ciao.
Metal Global foi a conversa com Alessandro Del Vecchio dos Hardline. O novo álbum Shout estará disponível nas lojas a partir de 17 de Abril pela Steamhammer. Podem passar então pela RTP Play para ouvir a versão com música deste programa. Está lá tudo, é só entrar em RTP Play e procurar por Metal Global. Se tiverem dúvidas ou sugestões, podem enviar e-mail jorge.botas@rtp.pt. Visite o site metalglobal.pt e sigam-me no Twitter e Instagram em @mountainking. Façam like na nova página do Facebook do Metal Global e, claro, se estão a ouvir esta versão em Apple Podcasts, Spotify ou YouTube Music, é só subscrever para não perder nenhum episódio. Eu volto no próximo programa. Um forte abraço.
Children of the night, you will live through the centuries to come, as I have lived. Good night.